So we did perfect competition and we did monopoly. Partway in between those two is something called monopolistic competition. Unlike perfect competition and monopoly, where those are kinds of businesses that don't exist very much, right? You have farmers and fishermen and stuff maybe over here in the perfect competition category. And then you have a few utilities and that kind of thing over in the monopoly category. Most businesses in the world are these monopolistic competitions. Okay? All right. What do you have to be to count as monopolistic competition? Well, there's a few things, 4 of them actually. Many small firms, just like perfect competition, there's lots and lots of little businesses. So restaurants and hairdressers and plumbers and those kind of things are going to probably be monopolistic competition. They have differentiated products, and that's the most important thing. If you want to get rich in life, if you're a business and you want to be successful, the best way to do that, the easiest way to do that, is to differentiate your product. And what we mean by that is you make a unique product. So if we say, what's the difference between Taco Bell and Chipotle? Maybe you can say. If we say, what's the difference between Coke and Pepsi? Maybe you can say. And Coke and Pepsi are not monopolistic competition, but clearly they try to differentiate their product. They try to get you to think that one or the other is better or worse. Okay? There's free entry and exit. It's easy to get into one of these. You can start one pretty easily. And if you're working and you want to quit, you block the door and you're out of business. It's easy. Okay? Unlike perfect competition, that really they aren't competing with each other. If you think about it, perfect competition, there isn't any competition. They're competing against themselves to lower their costs. But their prices are all still the same and their products are identical. So they're not really competing with each other, right? One farmer is not competing with the other farmer. They're competing with themselves to produce efficiently. Firms in monopolistic competition are going to compete with each other. And they're going to use price, and they're going to use the quality and variety of their product, and they're going to use marketing to compete with each other. So there's actual competition now going on. You have 2 restaurants down the street from each other. They're going to be fighting for customers. Okay? So I put, again, Pat's Diner up here. A restaurant's monopolistic competition. Your air conditioning repair person is monopolistic competition. What do we know about this? So nobody controls the market. Even though they have some say in what happens, right? If you're Pat's Diner, you can pick your menu. You try to make your menu different than the other restaurants in the area. You try to make better quality food. You try to have great service. You try to have ambiance. You try to have all this other stuff. You're not really controlling the market. It's not controlling you the same way that perfect competition is, the way a farmer is controlled by the market for their crop. But no one business really controls what goes on in the market. Okay? And the businesses can generally ignore each other. If somebody's right across the street from you and they sell the same thing you do, you have to worry about it. But for the most part, they're not directing what they do at the other businesses in there. They're trying to be unique and stand alone. Okay? They can't collude. They can't work together. There's so many of them, and they're so different, and they're scattered all over the place. There's no way for them to get together and decide that they're all going to raise their prices 10% or something. There's no way for them to work together. Okay? They do have some control over their price. They don't have huge control. It's not like Monopoly. But they do have some control over what their price is going to be. They compete on their price. Unlike farmers who don't have any reason to ever put their crop on sale, firms in monopolistic competition might have a sale. They might have discounts. They might have price discrimination. They might be using quantity discounts to get people to come back. They use their prices as a way to fight with each other. And they're going to use lots of non-price competition. They're going to advertise. They're going to work on at least convincing you that their product has a higher quality than the other guy, right? If you're Chipotle, you're really out there saying, look at the quality of our products. Del Taco uses that to compete with Taco Bell. They say, look, Taco Bell, they don't even cook their stuff in the store. It comes prepackaged and they heat it up. We make our own beans in our store. We grate our own cheese. We do these things in our store. That's non-price competition, right? Some air conditioning people say, hey, we'll be there in an hour. We'll give you a bid. We'll give you a price ahead of time. All right? They do things to compete for your business without giving you a lower price. We call that non-price competition. I already said that, but we call that non-price competition. So, let's draw a graph. And again, stole this right out of the book because it's the easiest way so you can compare what we talk about here with what you see. Remember, remember, remember. Get this tattooed. Get some henna and tattoo MC equals MR on your hand. Whenever we start one of these graphs, whenever we've got a graph of a business with costs and demand, we find MC equals MR. That's this point right here. We find that point. That point gives us the quantity. So we draw down from there. That's the quantity we should produce. Up the demand curve and across, that's our price. Now notice again, let's say that again, just to make sure. Find MC equals MR, down to find the quantity, up to the demand curve to find the price. Then, once we've done that, we look for this ATC curve. Where is it? Well, in this case, all of these curves meet at exactly the same spot. That means our price is equal to our ATC. Price equals ATC, our average total cost. Well, if your price equals your cost, you're breaking even. Remember that break even to an economist doesn't mean that you're not turning any profit. To an economist, break even says we're earning a normal profit, we're just not earning economic profit. But we are earning a normal profit. We're earning enough money to stay in business. If this is the way the business is, we could stay here forever and we'd be fine with it. Well, obviously, we'd rather make more money, but we'd be fine with this. That's the definition of normal profit. Okay? The trick here, if you were to compare this demand curve to the demand curve in Monopoly, this demand curve is flatter. And the reason it's flatter, again, is monopolistic competition is in between perfect competition and monopoly. So Monopoly, you have the whole demand curve. It's relatively steep. Perfect competition, you have a perfectly flat demand curve. Monopolistic competition is going to be in between. It's going to have a little more slope. Since perfect competition has no slope, monopolistic competition is going to have a little slope, but not nearly the slope that a monopoly would have. Okay? Now, what does it look like if we're turning an economic profit? Well, again, what do? We find where MC equals MR. That's this point. MC equals MR. We draw down from there. That's the quantity we're going to produce, right, to maximize our profits. We go up to the demand curve and across. That's the price. So now we've got our price and our quantity. Once we've done that, we take this line we just drew and we find, that's MC equals MR right there. Sorry, MC equals MR from here. We draw down. This point that I already colored in is my cost. It's ATC. So again, number one, I find this point where MC equals MR. Number two, I draw down to the x-axis to find my quantity. Number three, I come up to the demand curve and across. That's my price. Number four, I find where this line I drew crosses average total cost. And in this case, my price is way higher than my average total cost. Okay? Price is way up here. Average total cost is there. My price exceeds my cost. I'm earning this big area here. That big area is my economic profit. So I'm earning an economic profit here. This area down here that I'm coloring in now, that area is my cost. So that's my cost. That's my economic profit. There's normal profit down here in the white part. Okay? What about a loss? What if I'm losing money? Well, again, find where MC equals MR, right? That's number one thing to do. Number two thing, I draw down from there and I find my quantity. Number three thing, I come up to the demand curve and go across. That's the price. And then number four thing, I take this line and I find where it crosses ATC. So my cost now is higher than my price. Yes? My average total cost is bigger than my price. I'm losing money. How much am I losing? This pink shaded area right there is how much I'm losing. Okay? So let's go back here. This is price equal to average total cost. This is the price greater than average total cost. And this is the price being less than average total cost. Is that exciting? I think it's pretty exciting. Okay. How do we get good at these graphs again? Oh yeah, we go to Carnegie Hall, right? We practice. What about efficiency? Well, we already did the price is higher than ATC thing. These businesses are probably not efficient. They can have a price that's higher than average total cost. They're probably not efficient. They can have a price that's higher than marginal cost. In the long run, their price might be equal to ATC, but even so, their price is going to be higher than it needs to be. It's not at the lowest point in the ATC, right? It's higher than MC, but it's not that much higher. They're producing at a cost that's a little higher than the lowest cost they could get to, but that's not much. They're producing at price higher than marginal cost, but not by much. And we get a benefit. We get a benefit. They have differentiated products. These businesses, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Demolition Man. Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock. It's in the future. There's been multiple pandemics. World's changed. Every restaurant is Taco Bell. There's fancy Taco Bells and cheap Taco Bells and in-between Taco Bells, but every restaurant in the country is Taco Bell. Well, how boring is that? Might we as a society take a little bit of inefficiency that occurs in monopolistic competition as a trade-off against having all the variety of all the different choices we have? So think about that. Would you want all the restaurants to be the same in exchange for the price being a little bit lower and the businesses being a little more efficient? Or would you rather the price was where it is and we had all the choice that we have? Okay, so there's a huge benefit from all the product differentiation that happens in monopolistic competition. And there is inefficiency, but it's kind of small inefficiency, and we're probably actually better off because of all the differentiation than we would have been otherwise. Just saying. Okay. Non-price competition. These businesses in monopolistic competition are going to compete for your business in part by things that are not part of the price. So we have to do social distancing. Well, I put you in a big inner tube and let you roll your little... You might go there just because it's fun. You don't care about the price. You don't care about all the other stuff that's going on. You just think it's cool to be in this giant inner tube thing. Okay? Competition creates innovation. Competition creates innovation. So the fact that there's all these businesses out there in monopolistic competition and they want to attract business means they're going to try to be creative and innovate. And that's a good thing for us. It's a good thing for consumers. It's a good thing for society. All right? They also are going to non-price compete through advertising. That can be a good thing because there's information in advertising. So you may learn that a restaurant exists that you didn't know exists because you got that. You may know that there's some product at the grocery store. You may know that there's a song out or a movie that's out or something else that's going on that you didn't realize, and you realize it because of the advertising, and that advertising provided you with useful information and you're better off. Okay? Advertising can also be not so helpful, right? When the guy's yelling, but wait, there's more. Okay? Ads are signals to us. Ads provide signals. We're there. This is our price. This is what's going on. You can get 0% financing. We have this short-term weird taco that we're making out of spicy Doritos. Okay? Ads are providing signals to you as a consumer that help you, right? Ads, on the other hand, make demand more inelastic. The more businesses advertise, it turns out, the more consumers become insensitive to the price. Coke and Pepsi ever mention the price in the ads? No. The demand for Coke and Pepsi is highly inelastic. If you've ever worked in a restaurant, you know that there were people who will say to you, I want a Pepsi. And if you say to them, we only have Coke, they say, no, I don't want that. They drink one or the other, but they won't switch. And there's a huge percentage of people that won't switch. The same is true on pickup trucks. There are people who have owned Ford pickup trucks, and that's all they've ever owned in their life, and that's all they're ever going to own. The Ford dealer is so happy to see those people walk in the door because they know they can charge them a high price. Make them think they're giving them a good deal, but charge them a higher price than they might charge somebody else. Advertising makes demand inelastic. And ads are a barrier to entry. The existing firms are out there advertising. That makes it harder for a new entry firm, a brand new firm, to get noticed. There's so much else going on, and you're getting so much more information from all the existing businesses that it's hard to see the new business, and that means the new business has to advertise more, which means it's more expensive to start up a business. So the more an industry advertises, the more expensive it is to start up a new business, the more difficult it is to start up a new business. Okay, got that? Okay, so we're headed off now to oligopoly. Oligopoly is when there's more than one firm, but there's not a lot. There's just a few, we say. So airlines or car manufacturers or people who make laundry detergent, there's just not a lot of them. And that is what we're about to go talk about.